Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin, where we have a brick and mortar store in Tucson, Arizona. And of course, the Tucson Coin Show. Come on down, have some fun. OPC sales on eBay, of course, our website, oldpueblocoin.com. Have fun with all of it. In the meantime, let's look at some stuff that we sent in economy and the first week of December and in the third week of February, we got it back. So a little bit of a wait time, lag time. For those of you who specialize in Mercury dimes, you're going to know just how tough this coin is here. 1925 Denver Mint. Look at that coin. Really, really tough. And kind of a flat strike on a lot of these Denver Mint coins from the Mercury dime series from the 20s. An interesting time in U.S. mintage history. Really, those 20s were wild because you had all kinds of things that were produced or not produced. Sneaky cool luster underneath the back of that coin. This coin, AU details cleaned. Of course, we get to start out with my misery and your enjoyment. This one I will, just have to agree to disagree. This was from an old album. I think this coin is very nice and original. And I was so tickled to get this coin in an old album. And I thought, man, this is a neat, neat piece. So I'm probably going to go ahead and just price it at AU50 bid, something around there, a couple $100. Higher AUs are like, $300-400 on that sneaky tough coin. A good album coin. From an album ye came, into an album ye shall return. Oh well. Okay. Well, let's look on the bright side, the sunny side of things. Here's this 1929, also Denver Mint. Really, really cool looking coin, original. These, all of these were from the same album, all the Mercury dimes in this little group here. And also, I got some really cool walkers. By the way, I got a couple of Crackouts to show you too, with some stories to them. MS65 full bands, that is, north of $200 on that coin. NGC's limit is $300 for the economy. And so this coin actually, I had kind of listed as coming back as 64 full bands and not a 65. And this next coin is an example of why. For the most part, your 1930s, 40s, later 30s through your 40s, common date Mercury dimes, not worth spending the money to get certified because the certification fees and the price of the coin are pretty comparable. So this 1940 Philly, which I thought was really pretty stunning overall, and I thought was a gem coin. It doesn't have anything distracting. So this coin I had planned on coming back a pretty high grade. This one came back a 4 full band. So say la vie. I mean, I'm really happy. Overall, it works out. This coin in 5 is a great coin. I thought that would afford. I thought this was a higher grade coin than the other one. Maybe they just thought it was blasé. I think it's pretty cool. Next up, something completely different. Now for something completely different. This Turban head style $50, which you can see has just a little bit of kind of like luster hidden under there. And pretty interesting coin. Let's take a closer look here at some different types of annealing problems on the coin. So those areas there that looks like cracking, that's, from the planchet making process. You can see it actually up into the E also. There's a couple fun little things going on here. Some people like that, some people don't, but under the E you can also see where the annealing goes up into the rim. And some planchet flaw activity going on there. Pretty interesting looking coin. And just a style we don't see often. A nice XF40. I like the coin. I think the grade is pretty spot on. You have just a lot of, man, I don't get to look at these in XF very frequently, this particular type, but you can kind of make out the edge of the jawline coming up there on Liberty, and most of the detail there in the cap and the hair. Although there's wear on the high points, you can still make out a lot of good things there. This guy is between like $200 and $300 on a coin like that. Next up, 1909, Philadelphia, Barber $50. And you can make out the luster on there, but also a little bright. You got some lines going at this angle. They called this AU details cleaned. I think generally speaking, I'd agree with the assessment. I think that there's a coin that it was kind of too nice to just sell raw, if that makes sense. But a lot of luster on there. But has a little bit of some type of a different look to it on the back that is, I think, really kind of looks cleaned. But still a pretty neat coin, pretty expensive, a couple $100 plus, I think, on that. So the fun part is I had these walkers also raw, and these I generally undergraded, I'd say, underassessed when I sent them in. This 1918 Philly, just a pretty cool looking coin there. Yeah, I think maybe I was pretty close on this guy. AU 55. You know, this is a coin that's going to be in that probably 300 plus range. I think I had this kind of figured it more like an AU 53. You can see there's lots of luster left on the coin, and plenty of wear through there. So I think I had kind of assessed it as a 53 when I sent it in. There's not really an indication on the paper gray sheet as far as 55, but online I know they have it. But I didn't really look it up. But there's big jumps, and AU50 is like 250 bid, and AU58 is 550 bid. So I didn't look up a 55. I didn't go online. Who'd want to do all that work when I have paper products to look at? We get to compare it to this 1918 San Francisco mint coin. Also, very scarce coin in nicer grade. For those of you putting walkers together, you know just how hard it is to get a nice looking teens and 20s. The 20s are really the mystery. I mean, just the mystery for coins, for high grade coins. Trying to collect them, tough. This one AU50, and also I think I may have had that in my mind set it coming back as a 45. Now, for those of you who are new to coin collecting, 45 to 50 is actually just one grade movement, but there is a lot of luster on there. I just don't think that I'm generally optimistic on coins. I've sent enough stuff in that why be optimistic? So, but actually, pretty neat coin, probably close to $300 on that bad boy. 28S. So this is a very similar looking coin to the previous coin, and it's a little bit brighter all around. You can see it also has, I think, a little bit less luster to it. It's good to have some other coins to compare it to. A little bit brighter. They called this XF details cleaned. Probably would have preferred it just come back like a VF35 straight grade, but a little bit bright. I can't complain too much about that. I understand. I understand why they're calling that one cleaned. XF money is like $275, so it'll be probably less than that, but neat looking coin. Now this 29D, on the other hand, like I was mentioning, I should look at those a little closer. The 20s, it's such a weird pattern of coinage because for a couple years they didn't have any coins, 24, 25, 26. Then they make them in 27 and 28. I think, what was that? Only the San Francisco Mint. 29, they made Denver and San Francisco. So just an interesting time period for coinage in general, and each series has its own little story to tell. You've got a little bit of a black mark up here that looks like somebody tried to get rid of. That wasn't me. That predates me. So intriguing to me, the grade on this coin at an AU details cleaned. I think if they had said spot removal because of that one little spot, I'd be feeling okay on this coin. Calling this coin clean to me, though, is just not the way I would have described it. I don't think it's accurate. But it's still probably a couple $100 even in this holder. maybe a skosh more. An AU50 on that coin is $200. An AU58 jumps to 500. So those 1920s, late to mid 1920s, are all over the place. 1947, Denver Mint, considered slightly tougher coin in general in this series, which I find fascinating because they don't really sheet out at a whole lot. I thought this coin was really a gem. Just a really nice example. It came back as 64. Not a huge difference, I think, on these coins from 64 to 65. It does have like a track mark right there, and it's got some couple of hits right there on the flag, which are kind of hidden in general. But the originality of the coin is what really drew me in. And once again, if you could do a point scale on these things like they do for ancients, I just want sometimes a little button for originality that I can push and be like, yeah, that one's nice. So probably about $100 coin, which is probably $50 less or $75 less than I thought it might come back. Back to the 20s. Somehow these weren't in order, but that's okay. You've looked at enough walkers today to kind of have a fun view of another coin that has a good amount of luster to it and a good amount of wear. And it's just balancing those two things out. This is the 1920 San Francisco model. Very cool coin. I know that I had planned this coming back at 45 based on it going on the econ service. And it came back in AU50. Once again, I'm not trying to lowball anything. It's just I'm used to coins coming back a grade lower than I think they are. But really a neat coin overall. Nice. You can see the subjectivity a little bit in grading when you look at what you call cleaned and what you don't. This to me is just a nice evenly worn coin. It's hard. Those AU50 coin grades are very hard to not. They're very hard to get nice straight graded coins because the reality is that a coin circulated, it went through all kinds of pockets and wear, and that causes all of the lines and rub that you see on a coin that also sometimes gets considered to be cleaned. Really neat coin, probably north of $600 on that coin. So we probably got charged an upcharge on that, I'd imagine. All right, I got a few dollars to show to you, and then I've got a couple crackouts with some stories behind them. 1879S. So generally, I tell people don't actually bother cracking coins out or sending them in to get graded. If you want graded coins, just buy graded coins. And if you watch enough result videos, not only mine but other people's, you'll understand why that mantra is true. We tend to be a lot more optimistic for our coins than other people would for our own coins. Your kids are great and everyone else's kids are brats, that kind of thing. 1879S, MS64. Morgan dollars were the thing that really got me going when I first started working at the shop. It not got me going as a collector, but got me going as kind of like liking to crack coins out, find coins that I felt were kind of undergraded, and try to get them upgraded. And I'm leading into the crackouts for this in a little bit here. And so at the time, MS65 I think were like $75. MS64 I think were $40 or something like that. So the spread was very, very small, and but you could send stuff in and get it graded for a lot less. I think you could get a economy service was like $12 or $13 at the time. So it wasn't. It kind of worked out. The numbers kind of worked out. So here we're looking at this 88S, AU58 88S, better date coin, right on the cusp. It has a little bit of wear to it. Those 58s were a real sneaky tough grade for most people. This coin, AU58 is exactly how I had it graded. Came back at 58, pretty coin, tough date, and 300, just north of $300 on a coin like that. All right, this coin here, we did not crack out. What we were going for in this coin in particular was trying to get a 63 PL. 84Os often come with a proof-like finish. They're not a rare coin to get a proof-like finish on, but apparently they're very rare to get it in the holder because we did not get a PL and we got a 62. Understandably, a lot of chatter, but that's a coin that I would like my PL on. So didn't get it, but c'est la vie. So the two coins that we cracked out here and sent in were the type of thing that always kind of got me cracking in the first place, which were just common dates. Oftentimes it would be a 79 or an 80, 81, 82S Morgan dollar. And so these are exactly the type of things that got me interested, because generally speaking on 81, 82, 79, they were very conservative just because they see so many of them. And so you'd see these coins that were like really, really pretty. I'm trying to remember what show I bought this coin at. So this is in a kind of like early 2000s holder. I'm looking at my label to see if I knew when I bought it. But I bought this just to crack it because I thought this is really just a very attractive dollar. And it was in a 64 holder. So we've got from 64, we get to a 65. I think it's in the right holder now. It's a lovely coin. And but this is the type of thing that I used to just focus on. I didn't try cracking out lots of different things. It was mostly common date Morgan dollars, kind of on my numismatic journey. This coin has a little bit more of a story to tell. So I got a big bulk group of Morgans in, and it was the quantity to where I had to wholesale a bunch of them out. And this coin got rejected because it had toning. And so for the guys that buy this stuff, they just wanted the coin only if it was white. And, I gave them a hard time. I said, well, then just dip it. But anyways, but there was a few coins they rejected. And I'm going through the rejects and I'm looking at this coin and I'm like, this coin is really lovely. And so it got rejected from a wholesaler as a 64, and now it's a 65, and it's a lovely coin. It's just got a real pretty look to it. So anyway, guys, there you go. Just a wee little bit of fun. Thanks for joining me today. I'm Ben the Coin Geek. You can subscribe by clicking on the owl button in the corner and watch more videos on the right side of the screen. Thanks.